might launch with one, like we launch with a different design, a different look and feel, a different publishing schedule. Virtually, well, most of what you see is different, and there has been an evolution over the past year in ways that I couldn't have possibly predicted. So I don't have any great stories off the top of my head to share, but what I did just share is my posture in thinking about how to evaluate this.
Good stuff. Is there someone that you know who's outside of the spotlight, but it's doing something important to have an impact on the world that we need to know about?
I think my mother has been one of the greatest sources of empathy and compassion in my life. My mother's a nurse for the Navy, Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. It's a nonprofit organization that, in my mother's case, serves the elderly and the newborn, basically people who aren't able to take care of themselves. And I'll never forget, as a child, my mother taking me with her to, for example, nursing homes. And there would be a lot of scary older people there, and scary just because I wasn't used to people who were old. And I'll never forget walking by one of them. I think it was a lady in a wheelchair. And my mother said, just wave to her. She wanted to say hi. Well, people like kids. It's just how it works. And there was something about that, her statement there that it has just stuck with me over the years. Like, just say hi. She's,
Right.
the reminder, or the realization, or the knowledge that there was something really fundamental there that I was missing, and I was making it scary in my mind as a child. I don't know how old I was, but just that understanding of the underlying humanity present in that moment, that really unlocked something with me and stuck with me over the years. And I'll never forget being in. I think I was in maybe ninth grade, and a class. There was a special needs student in our class, and another one of my friends, just he seemed to not have the emotional sophistication to deal with it. He was getting giggly, like he was a middle school child, and it was uncomfortable for him, is what it was. And I thought back in that moment to my mother's admonition, many, many, many years prior, just to say hello to the person in the wheelchair. And there was just something about the lesson and the humanity of that moment, about how people might be different, but we're fundamentally coming from a simple place. Something has stuck with me about that moment over the years. And so just the metaphor of my mother's career and helping people who can't help themselves, the newborn and the elderly, that has stuck with me in ways that maybe I'll have to write about in my memoir in some years. But my mother and my father as well have had a huge impact on how I show up in the world. So any good qualities that I have are largely a result of their influence.
Wow, that's powerful. My dad just passed away in the last couple of weeks, and I've been spending a lot of time thinking and writing about the impact that, again, parents can have on forming our understanding and our connection through observing how they do that. So that's a powerful story to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there any other thought that you'd like to leave with our community that you believe could make a difference in their lives?
You're more powerful than you think. You're smarter than you think. Well, I'll leave you with my revelation from 2015. That feels like it was 30 years in the making. And that realization was that I have always had everything that I ever needed to do everything that I ever wanted. And I know if it was true for me, it's probably true for you.
Quite powerful. I know that you are very active on Twitter. Is there anywhere else that folks can engage with you that you would like, or is that the best place?
Well, I don't know. By the time this comes out, that might not be true. I've been doing some experimentation. I don't know if you were recording when I told you about the book I've been reading called Deep Work by Cal Newport. But I have been experimenting with taking time off of social media, and it has been immensely powerful. So take from some of the folks whose body of work resonates with me. and who've made the decision in many cases to avoid social media, I think I'm going to become a lot less accessible on those networks in the days and weeks and months to come. But I mean, if you know my name, you can find me. I'm Googleable and so forth. So get in touch if there's something we need to talk about. But otherwise, just go do great work.
And they can find you, of course, through Abernathy. And I'll put the web address to make it real easy.
AbernathyMagazine.com.
There you go. So we'll have that in the show notes.
Thank you for having me on the show and for the work that you're doing.
Thanks for listening to The Creator's Journey. If you enjoyed our theme music, the name of the song is You've Got a Home by Krista Wells. If you enjoyed the show and would like to see it fare well, as opposed to saying farewell to it, please go to iTunes and subscribe. While you're there, if you give us a favorable rating and review, it'll make a huge difference in whether a newcomer is able to easily find it or it just gets buried. I want to thank Mary Rogers for her iTunes review. She said, Charles does a tremendous job interviewing fabulous guests. He has a natural curiosity about people and asks the questions you would want to ask. Definitely worth your time. Thanks, Mary. And remember, you're welcome to join the community and conversation at thecreatorsjourney.com to make suggestions and get updates about upcoming guests and notes from each show. Till soon, my friend.